is it as you as a coach being here for the first time, having guys on your staff that have been here before and have played here?
I think it's huge. Well, let me say this. Like I said, I could feel it in the conversations I had with Cadillac, with Coach Etheridge, with Coach Rocker. You feel that, I know that as a Boise State alum, I know the pride I took in playing at Boise State. I know the pride I took as a coach and being a part of that program. I understand that. I appreciate that. I embrace that. And those three in particular, as how they've been around our guys, there's no question the pride that they have for Auburn football. There's no question that these guys are going to make an impact with our current players now on what it means to be a Tiger. No doubt about it. And some of the previous coaches as well. I mean, everybody who's an alum, all right, of this program matters. And I've got a chance to get on a Zoom call and talk with a few of them. I'll do it again. But that's important to me. Being a guy that spent 22 years at a program coaching where I played at, that's important to me. And I understand that. And we want our players, our past players, to understand how important they are, all right, and to honor what they did here and to help our current players inspire those who will follow. I mean, that is important to us, and I appreciate that, and I appreciate any guys that have been a part of this program. And certainly, I think that element, when you get around the guys and they're able to ask questions and they can talk about, some of the guys like Cadillac who played here and they know the history and they know some of the things he did, it creates a great conversation. And certainly in recruiting, all right, it's not just that, hey, here's this building or here's campus or here's the stadium. They've actually been in it. They've experienced it, right? They bleed orange and blue. They understand what it takes. They know what it feels like to leave this program, all right, as champions, to leave this program with a degree from Auburn University. And so they can share that with families and players, and it's not something that's scripted. It's something that's genuine, and their pride being back here. I think a lot of coaches, when you get an opportunity to come back to your alma mater in a place like this and coach, you take tremendous pride in that.
We've got time for a few more. First up is Nathan King.
Hey, Bryan. Nathan King from Auburn Undercover. Talking about Cornelius Williams, what was it about him? He's one of the younger guys on your staff. What was it about him that made him stand out in the interview process, maybe as opposed to kind of some more older, experienced coaches?
Yeah, I think his focus. I really do. I think, that guy on the field, the focus, the coaching points, the details, those things really stood out to me. I got a chance to be around him and see that and to watch him in action. And, when you can see somebody on the field, there's one thing about getting on a board, there's one thing about getting in an interview and sitting there and answering questions and talking about who you are and, what are your philosophies in recruiting. All those things are important, but, knowing what guys do on the grass, knowing what they're going to be like with their players, knowing the type of detail they're going to coach guys with, knowing that they understand the position and playing the position and coaching the position. And Coach Brown at West Virginia, Cornelius had played for him, and I know Neil, and Neil does a great job at that wide receiver position. So all right, where guys were taught from, and some of the things that they've learned through their coaching career and the type of detail that a guy is going to bring, and you can see that with Coach Williams. And not to mention the energy, the connection piece, and then the relationship piece that he's going to have with our recruits. And then, also a little different perspective from a different style of offense that he brings to some of the things that we want to do. And so you have more knowledge in some areas where he's going to help us with the scheme and some things that he's done where hopefully that provides value for some of the things we want to do moving forward as we put this system together.
Bill Cameron.
Hey, Coach, Bill Cameron, The Drive on ESPN 106.7. You were talking about filling needs, and I know it's going to be difficult with the short time you've had to evaluate exactly what you have, but what do you feel your needs are as you head into signing day, and then do you have a certain number of spots that you probably are going to hold in case for transfers?
We can, yeah. There'll be some some holds, certainly, and I think that will naturally happen. I don't know if that's something that, if we can sign the best guys and fill the class we want to with all the guys we want to get, then that doesn't necessarily mean we'd hold anybody. But there are going to be naturally a few spots that we do hold just based off how the process has gone. Offensive line, running back, corner, safety, defensive backfield, linebacker, D-line. Those are all areas, I mean, you name it, right? You can go down, and there are needs at really every position. But like you said, it's going back, evaluating the guys that we have now. And I'll just say this, you go back, every team, and we definitely faced it here with COVID and certain things that happened during that time. Some injuries happened, some guys that opted out, some other things that went on during COVID. That also changes some of, all right, the future of our program as guys come back, or injuries, guys are going to recover from that, when they're going to be back. And so we have to look at that and really say, okay, where are we at in these areas? All right, what are the most important things we have to get done? Is it a younger tackle? Is it an older tackle? Is it a position at running back that we need to fill? What does that look like? And those are the conversations we've had. But I've felt very good about what our coaches have done with their evaluation and knowing, all right, here's where we need to go. And then going to find those guys that fit within what we've been talking about culture-wise and making that happen on the football field.
Next one is from Rocco DeSangro.
Yep.
Hey Brian, Rocco DeSangro from WHNT TV in Huntsville. You've surrounded yourself with a ton of guys who have previous SEC experience. In those conversations that you're having with your staff members, what is the best piece of advice you've gotten about being a head coach in this conference?
Well, let me say this. You're absolutely right, and that was purposeful. There are guys that have SEC experience, all right? But I'll just say this. That's something that helps me. That's something that helps everybody on this staff. But I think we've surrounded ourselves with coaches that want to be the best. And that was something, and I want to be clear on that. Every coach that's on this staff is a competitor. Every coach on this staff wants to be the best at the position that they're coaching. They want to compete and they want to win. And that was a big part of it too. It wasn't just go find some of the voids to fill out a staff to make sure that I have some support here in this area and connections here and some experience there. It still comes down to who wants to compete and win. Who wants to develop players? Who wants to be a part of Auburn football? Those are the criterias that I started with. And then on top of that, all right, there's experience from these coaches. Mike Bobo's been in this league. Derek Mason's been in this league. Will Friend has been in this league. Cadillac has been in this league. Coach Rocker has been in this league. But every one of those guys, that experience is helping us. That experience is helping me. What they've been able to go through and be a part of over the years in the SEC has certainly given me a lot of information that's valuable. But at the end of the day, these guys are all here. I want them to succeed. My responsibility for our coaches is to help them develop and be the most successful coaches they can possibly be so they can share that with our players. And we're going to compete. And that starts with us as coaches. And we got to have that mindset every single day. That's that 4th and 1, that sense of urgency. Because the way I look at coaches, all they are a bunch of former players that are just coaching now. We can't play anymore. But that competitive nature hasn't left. The experience factor is really helping with what we need to do right now moving forward. Guys that have played here, that experience of, hey, being an Auburn man, all right, the things that we talk about in our program, that has helped me tremendously to have a better idea of the things that we're searching for as we bring people in here to be a part of this program. But overall, to be very clear, for me, it started with when I talk to every coach, all right, you want to be the best at what you do. You want to win, you want to compete, you want to succeed, you want to share that with your players, you want to develop those guys. That's number one, first and foremost. And then everything on top of that has really helped me develop our plan as we move forward with the things that I need to know and we need to share with our staff, and certainly what we have to get to our players and recruits to build this program the way we want to.
We got 2 more. Our first will be from Brian Matthews, and then our last one will be from Philip Marshall. Brian?
Hello, Coach. Brian with the Y, Matthews from AuburnSports.com. Nice to speak to you.
Thank you. You too.
I wanted to ask you about workouts. You mentioned building a culture. How important are those workouts going to be starting next week to building that culture? And what's sort of been your message to the players about what to expect from workouts and how they may be different than what they're used to?
Yeah, number one, the workouts, that's the foundation. All right. Hard work, that's the foundation. All right. It all starts there. If we can put together a great plan. If we don't have the work ethic behind it, there's no plan that you can put in place that's going to be successful if you don't bring it every single day. All right. If you don't have the juice every day and you're not bringing it every day, or your teammates aren't helping you bring it every day, and we're not purposely getting better and focused on what it is we're doing, the foundation that we're creating in the weight room right now will not happen. And so the message has been, all right, really what we have to do on this football team to develop ourselves. We'll have a plan. All right. One, you need to be there on time. All right. And when you show up and you're on time and you're there, there'll be a plan put in place. And when you understand the plan, you need to go execute it. All right. With tremendous effort every single day. And there's going to be tasks every day that we ask our guys to accomplish academically, athletically, socially, all the things that we have to do in order to be successful every single day. That's been communicated. Not all those in detail, but has been communicated in the fact that there's going to be things that we have to do every day in order to be successful. And, a big part of that message is just 1-0. All right, and for us, what that means is we have a day in front of us. All right, we want to win that day. We need to stay focused on the things that we have to do to accomplish those tasks in a way that we are successful. And that's not just one guy, that's everybody. All right, coaches, players. And so, we've been very clear on that with that message. And right now it is focused on Auburn. It is focused on what we have to do. It is focused on the daily tasks that we're faced with, that we have to go out there and accept the challenges, all right, do it in all the ways necessary to be successful, and very, very simple, starting with that. And that foundation that we build in that weight room is going to determine our success as we move forward, because this is football, and you build your mentality, you build your physicality, you build your discipline. All those things happen in the weight room and on that field and in conditioning. Before you go out there and cut it loose and have fun and play the game, you got to put in the work.
Our last one, Coach, is from Philip Marshall.
Coach, this is Philip Marshall from Auburn Undercover. You've talked a lot about physicality, and it's obviously a physical league. In practices, how physical will practices be on a routine basis? How much like 1-against-1 kind of stuff will you do?
Yeah, well, good question. We'll get to that. Now, we've done that, and I've been a part of that in the past. I think that's extremely important to get yourself better, right? You want to compete against the best. People have said iron sharpens iron, right? We've all heard that. Well, that's a true statement, and certainly something that we'll incorporate into what we do. I think the physicality, it definitely happens in the actual action of practice and doing those things and developing that. But I think a big part of that is mentally. All right, having that mindset, and that mindset's created in the work you do. It's created in the purpose you have every single day. It's created in the determination that you have every single day for what it is you want to accomplish. And then you got to go out there and be in the right frame of mind to go be a physical player. And that takes everybody on the team. And sometimes it's not just smash mouth live football every practice. That's not how we're going to accomplish our goal. But it certainly is, and I mean that literally, but it certainly is that mindset, all right, when you go out there to compete, that we are creating that every single day in the way that we do things. And I do believe in physicality. I do believe in the work necessary to create that. And then when it's time to go cut it loose, that you're able to perform and accomplish what it is you need to be physical and to play at the level you want to play at.
All right, Coach. Thank you very much for your time today. Everyone, thank you for joining, and have a great rest of your day.
Hey, thanks everyone. War Eagle.